Welcome back to Exhaust Noise on CVN, your weekly blast of everything fast. I'm your host, Kenny Abbott. Tonight, our guest is one of the most accomplished American road racers of our generation. He's a two-time AMA Pro Superbike Champion in 2013, 2024, Supersport Champion in 2022, and a Superstock Champion in 2016, and that's just the beginning. This year, he's competing in the MotoAmerica Supersport class for the Rahal Ducati Moto team with Desnuda Tequila, where he's the clear favorite to win his second Supersport Championship, and now he's the proud owner of a fifth Daytona ROLEX Chronograph Watch after winning the 84th running of the Daytona 200 for the fourth straight year. Welcome to the show, the one and only Josh Herrin.
What's going on, Kenny? Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, man. I know you've got family and twins and a lot to juggle there. Congratulations on that, by the way. I know they're a relatively new addition to add to your son, who's been coming to the races. He's already a race fan, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's we got to bring Griffin around the first, I guess, when he was he was born in September of 21, so all of 22. So the year that we won the Supersport Championship, he came to all those races. And then the first year on the Superbike with Warhorse, he came to the majority of those races. And then, the team wanted me to kind of like start focusing a little bit more on racing. So we left him at some of the races. They stayed at home, but they get to come to a few of them. And as one of my favorite, memories in racing is just being able to say that my son was at a lot of races that I won, and just being able to have those memories, right? You have them forever. And Aaron Yates would come and race at our house at the Herrin compound, and when Ashton was younger, and I used to always see photos of him, winning races with Ashton there on the podium and stuff. I was like, man, that's my dream, to have a son or just kids and bring them on the podium with me, and be able to be at least to where I'm able to win races still while I had a kid, and I was able to accomplish that, which is honestly one of my greatest achievements for myself, my memory. So always be proud of that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, just the fact that your wife is there and Griffin is there, you're able to kind of celebrate. So one of the questions I normally ask at the very end of the show is, what's your preference, RV or hotel? How are you guys managing that?
Yeah, you were around for a lot of the AMA days where everybody had the nice buses and all that stuff, and I was there also, but I was young, and my dad had convinced me to get an RV at the time. I was probably making, I don't know, maybe after bonuses and everything, like $200,000 to $300,000 or something. And he's trying to convince me that it's better for us to have this RV than it is to fly and waste money on the hotels. I'm like, yeah, but they're paying for it, so it doesn't make a difference. Like, yeah, but they're giving you that $2,500 travel a weekend, so you can just put that towards the payment. It ended up costing me way more money than it was to just fly to the races. Like, God, it was such a money trap. And
it's more a convenience than anything, right? Like, it's just the fact that your house is there and you can like go back to it and like have your stuff, right?
Yeah, but then you also got to worry about getting to the race, and really,
Filling it up with water,
if you do it the right way, you're paying somebody to drive it there. So then guess what? You're still flying to the races. And then you're still having to pay for a hotel because you got to put the guy who drove it to the races in a hotel. So then you're spending way more money. Me and my wife have talked about it a bunch, especially now that we have the 3 kids. Like, one thing that's cool now is you can rent really nice RVs at the track, and they'll deliver them, and it's cheaper than getting a hotel. So that's kind of the route that we go now when we bring the family. Like, they were supposed to come to Daytona this year, and hotels at Daytona we're there for a week, so it's you're spending pretty much like $1,500 to $2,000 on a hotel.
Easy.
And for $2,000, we had like a 2-bedroom, like I'm talking like 4 pop out, fifth wheel. The thing is like the size of a house. And they didn't end up coming because I broke some ribs, and we didn't want to travel with all the kids and stuff with the broken ribs. And but now when they come, that seems to be the better thing to do, because now Rachel has the home away from home that she can just go to when she needs to go feed or when they need to take naps, all that stuff. So if I could, the best thing would be to have somebody drive that thing to the races, and then me be able to kind of still hang out in it, but not have to worry about driving it home. But I can't waste that much money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think what happened a lot of times back in the team days when a lot of riders and or teams had buses is that one of the mechanics from the team would drive the bus somewhere and then shift over to a hotel for the remainder of the week and then jump back in the bus on Sunday night and, drive to the next round or whatever else. And then, obviously some of the riders would drive their own buses and just, kind of be on vacation the whole time.
Yeah. I remember Hacken and Spees driving to the races and stuff. And I thought about that too, but it's like, fuck, man, like
long time.
You're talking 4 days to go to New Jersey, 4 days back. What happens if the thing breaks down and then I'm stuck somewhere? Like I think about that all the time.
And then you're tired. And then you're tired because you've been driving all week.
Yeah. My wife's like, she's all about like, I had to go to golf, or didn't have to. I went to a golf tournament in Fresno, so it's a 5-hour drive. And she's like, you should just fly there. I'm like, oh, by the time I drive to the airport, sit at the airport, fly there, get the rental car, all that stuff, like it would have taken me 2 hours longer to fly.
Especially now you're going to be the lines are so long.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, but you're going to be way more rested. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. How would it be? It's the same amount of time. So I started using ChatGPT, asking it. It's like, if you're worried about recovery and convenience, it's way better to fly. I'm like, and I never really thought about it that way. But even if it's going to take you longer, you're still able to rest on the plane. Your eyes don't need to be like concentrated for 5 hours of that drive.
Yeah.
So it does make a lot more sense to fly a lot of times. And then that's when you get into the conversations of flying private. Guys are like justifying flying private so they don't need to spend 4 hours at the airport. I'm like, wow, it really makes sense when you break it down.
That's when you need to call Steve Rapp.
Yeah.
we used
to fly me around.
Yeah. When he first got his commercial license, we were calling him Air Rap because he would just kind of zipping guys around to get his hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell everybody right up front where everybody can find you on social media.
Yeah. I mean, you just all the regular social media channels, right? Instagram is the main one that we use, but Facebook, and you just search my name, just Josh Herrin.
Just Josh.
It usually
Josh
pops up.
Herrin or Josh _Herrin.
Instagram's Josh _Herrin, but nowadays you could just search my name in there and you'll see the verified account and pop up. I'm not as active as I used to be on all that stuff. For a long time I took that super serious, and I still do on race weekends and here and there, but it just doesn't. It's not the same anymore. It's so flooded with posting, and I don't know. It's not as fun to me anymore. And there's so many rules, like sponsors and manufacturers and the series and fans. They all, get on to you for doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, what they think you shouldn't be doing. And it just takes the fun out of it. So,
well, talk about some of your new partners. Obviously, you've been with KYT helmets. Tim's taking care of you on that side of things. And I love the posts, pre-weekend where you're asking people, what helmet should I wear this weekend? Having different ones. By the way, my favorite's the two-tone blue.
It's been the KYT stuff's been fun. I started with them in, let's see, this is gonna be my 3rd year with them, I think. So it's been good. I mean, I was one of the first bigger, I definitely was the first Superbike winner for them. First Daytona 200 win they got was in that helmet, or was with me in that helmet. So I've been with them kind of not since the beginning of them coming over here, but definitely was one of the first bigger riders to bring them on. And Brandon Cretu is the guy that obviously I know Tim Calhoun over there, but Cretu has been the guy that I've talked to the most over there, and TJ, who's the guy for the world guy for KYT. And I had a relationship with Brandon Cretu from when he used to import all the ovales, so he used to hook me up with ovales back in the day. But they're a great company, and anything Brandon Cretu does, I'm on board to do with him because he's just such a good guy, and he always takes care of you. He tells me after Daytona, he sends me a message like, "Hey, your bonus was this, but I'm giving you this," and it was like a lot more, like more than double what my bonus was for the regular races. And just because he's like, he used to race, he did Ironman and a lot of AMA stuff, and he just takes care of you, and he always, is a man of his word, does what he says he's going to do. So that's where I'm at with the helmet. Leathers, this is my, 12th year in Alpine Stars now. They've been great to me. They always make the best looking suits. They always get them there on time and make sure that everything's taken care of. They're the only leather manufacturer that's actually at the races taking care of us and stuff. So Chris Kimball's there at the races taking care of us. And then on my helmet this year, Desnuda Tequila, they're like the main sponsor on the helmet, which has been really cool. They're also the main sponsor on the bike this year. And then I have
how did that come
that's
about?
Actually, that's a Graham deal. So Graham Rahal put that deal together. Actually, a lot of people thought that was my deal just because, I guess, just because it's so mumuch different. Bringing a tequila company into the sport, they just assumed that was my deal. But when I started talking to Graham, he's like, yeah,
because you're the big drinker, the big party, right?
Graham's like, I think I got a good match for you. I want to see if this guy's interested. And within a couple hours, like, oh yeah, we got the funding, and these guys are on board, and I was super excited about it because, as you know, like I'm a big fan of just doing different stuff, So tequila company is really cool, and then Brew Watch Company. So they're a watch company based out of New York. Jonathan Ferrer, I think I said that right. He's the owner of that company, and he did Daytona 200 with me last year. I made a social media post like, hey, we're looking for some sponsors to jump on board for Daytona. And he was like title sponsor for Daytona. Had a lot of fun. And he came on as a big sponsor this year for Rahal. And then Nimbus Healthcare. They're a healthcare company based out of Texas. You can go on their website, nimbushealthcare.com. They, you'll see what they're all about. They basically, help people, become the best version of themselves that they can. I use their stuff to just kind of I obviously I train, but just with the dad bod, kind of like that kind of thing, right? You can use them for like weight loss, or if you want to be a better athlete, or moms use their stuff. It's just you go on, you fill out all your information, and say what you're lacking in and what you want to feel better, what parts of your life you want to feel better in, and they kind of create a program for you. So you'll see Nimbus on this photo. Nimbus Healthcare is up next to the windscreen. And then you see Brew Watch go on there. Roll or Die on there is a partner of the teams that they've been there for a few years.
Yeah.
And then I got Watson Services, which is like a land development and construction company based out of New Jersey. So I got good partners. For me, it's been a long time of like building good partners, and I'm happy with who I got. They're guys that are really loyal to me and stick around, and we win and we lose together, and there are a lot of fans of the sport now, and just having some fun with that.
Talk about your Daytona helmet this year.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I wanted to kind of honor Scott Russell. It's obviously him and Miguel are tied for the most wins there, and there was nothing against Miguel. I just grew up seeing and knowing Scott for Daytona, and I just felt like even though I have 5 wins now, Miguel has 5 wins there, Scott Russell will always be Mr. Daytona, and I just wanted to honor him, and Troy Lee's painted some helmets of mine before, and Graham Rahal, uses Troy Lee. So we got together and came up with this idea to kind of replicate it, since he painted the original helmet. And it came out killer, and everybody's been asking about it, and it blew my expectations out of the water. I couldn't be happier with it. And I was honestly afraid for a little while that Scott was going to take it the wrong way and think I was like doing it because I was trying to come after his wins or something like that. And that wasn't it at all. And I told him that. And it was to be able to win the Daytona 200 wearing that helmet, and not just to win it, but to tie him for the 5 all-time wins there, and get my 4th in a row there with that helmet, and see the burnout photos. Every year when I win, except 2010, you're real good at getting the photos right when I'm talking about.
I try to be prepared, Josh.
Or what, but
I try to be prepared.
I love doing the burnouts in victory lane. I asked I asked Frank, the president of Daytona, I was like, man,
Yeah.
is there any chance I can get one of those bricks? Because I've done 4 burnouts on those things now. And he said he was going to get with maintenance and see if they could possibly get one of them and pull it up. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but that's, you and me were talking before the show just about my collection of memorabilia that I have. And if I could get a brick right there, you know, from my my burnout marks for the last 4 years, man, that'd be huge for me.
Game over.
Yeah, I hope Scott liked the helmet. He told me he liked it, but you know, he could have been just being nice. But yeah, it was just so special. I thought I jinxed myself. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna win wearing this. Like, this is a stupid idea. Why did I do this? Like, I'm just like that, you know. Like, and once it's in my head, it's there. I always think it. And like when I hit the camera guy on pit lane, I'm like, yeah, that's what you get for wearing the helmet, dumbass. Like stuff like that. So to get the win with that helmet was so special. Yeah, there you go.
Well, and
sorry to jump ahead there, but
no, it's all good. I told you, before we went live that I didn't know how to approach you. I'd been doing Daytona preview shows since January 1, and so literally every week it was a lead up to Daytona Supercross, the short track, the Daytona 200. I had guests on where we talked about, everything. And we talked about, the chances of you matching Miguel and Scotty and all these other things. And so by the time we got to Roebling Road for the tire test, my brain was just spinning. I was like, I don't want to jinx him and ask about the 200. I don't want to, I don't even know. Like, I'm just going to leave him alone. I don't want to add pressure. I don't want to do any of these things. Like, I'm sure he's in his own head, just processing what he has to do here at Roebling to get ready for Daytona. And then once we got to Daytona, I was like, he just needs to stay focused. He's got enough people in his ear. I'm not going to talk to him. And man, when all that went down on Saturday afternoon, I was just so excited for you and you and Kayla and the team and Ben and just everybody. Just so stoked for everybody. I mean, really. And then also heartbroken for Tyler Scott, who's worked so hard, and he deserves it just as much as anybody in the field, in my opinion. So does Richie Escalante, and then poor PJ, who crashed late, and which leads to one of my questions. One of the things that it whether it was strategy pre-race or not, I was watching from the top of the Daytona 500 building. So I was looking down on pit road, which was almost right over your pit stall. And late in the race, before you hit the cameraman, you guys, you left your pit stall first. And then you looked back and saw that PJ left his pit stall right after you. And you did a fist pump.
Yeah.
Which to me was cool. He's out on time. We can work together. We're going to go. And that was almost like the final push to get to the checkered flag, because you guys had about 15, 16 seconds clear of Tyler.
Yeah.
Is any of that true, or did I just make all that up?
No, that wasn't why I did it. I also remember watching the race back and hearing Greg White talk about some stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't hate, because that obviously you and Greg and whoever else is announcing, their job is to speculate what they think's going on. But whenever like a TV announcer says something to the audience, they believe it, and that's what it is. And when Greg says things like as a matter of fact, like, oh yeah, that's why you did this, like, no, I don't remember I don't remember what he said. I think he talked about like, oh, we probably plan to have the pit stops together and stuff like that. But to be completely honest with you, I love PJ, but he was working against me as much as he possibly could the whole weekend. And I was actually really pissed about it, because, the team is great. I love the team, and I love PJ. I love Kayla. Kayla grew up riding at my house. Yeah. Alessandro's been kind of a teammate of mine for the last couple of years. He's a great kid. PJ is one of the guys that I don't really socialize in the paddock. And PJ, I love talking to PJ. And I was mad at him all weekend because he just put on his game face, and it threw me off. And I don't know if he was doing it intentionally or if he was just focusing, but he wasn't talking to me as much. And I was trying to crack jokes, and he's just got his headphones in, and I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah.
He wouldn't give me a tow all weekend. I'd been struggling all winter. I was like a second and a half off all 5 days of testing. And wouldn't give me a tow on the banking for the draft, nothing. I was pissed. And the first pit stop that we did, I told them, like, I want to come in with somebody. I don't want to be by myself because I don't have the confidence in the bike right now and me, or like how I felt on the bike, to ride by myself and catch somebody if I need to. So I need to come in with, I don't care if it's Kayla, if it's PJ, I need someone so I can get a draft. Like, so bring me in.
Yeah.
And when I came in, you know, they changed the pit stops now where you have to do 3. It's mandatory to come in 3 times.
3, yeah.
Yeah. It used to not be mandatory at all. Like if you could run 57 laps on 1 tank of gas and 1 set of tires, go for it. Now you have to come in 3 times.
Yeah.
And I came in for my first pit stop and I look back and there was absolutely nobody. I'm like, I'm so fucked. Like, there's no chance. Like, I'm done. The race is over. And I came out of the pits and I was like, the first pit stop, actually, I don't really talk about it much, but my bike didn't start. And luckily, Hunter Sealing he came on as like a one-off weekend for us to help out. And he pushed me down pit lane for 10, 11 seconds. I was 11 seconds down leaving pit lane. Yeah. And I don't know, they talked about it, but I don't think enough. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I need to go back and rewatch the whole race, but I know Roger made a big deal about it whenever they were like in the commercial break, if you watched it on the MotoAmerica Live Plus app. And I'm sure Jason and Greg said something, but I felt like for how hard I had to ride to catch up and how uncomfortable I was on that bike, all testing and all weekend leading up to the race, I made up 11 seconds and did like the only 48 of the race, the fastest lap of the whole weekend with no draft, trying to catch up.
It was impressive.
I caught up and I was like, holy shit, like I cannot believe I just caught up. And then when we came in for the second pit stop, I was watching my lap count and I was paying attention to it. And I'm like, they're going to pull me in by myself again because PJ's 1 lap extra than me. If I was supposed to come in on lap 15 and he came in on 16, he's probably going to come in on lap 31 now or lap 32 instead of lap 30, like I'm scheduled to come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what the gas is going to do, but I took a big risk and I stayed out. So I got my L0, which is like, so it's L1, and then they gave me the inboard. I actually stayed out. And I risked the whole race just betting on the fact that we'll make it 1 more lap and I can come in with PJ.
Interesting.
So I hung on, and luckily he came in on that lap, and luckily my bike made it on fuel. So the second pit stop, which was like our only clean one, without, the first one, the bike didn't start. The third one, I hit the camera guy. So the second one, I came in and it was a huge gamble because I didn't know if the bike was going to make it. And, so when we came in, I look back and I'm like, all right, like thumbs up. I know you're pissed because you probably told them I don't want to come in with Josh because he doesn't have the pace. So I don't want to, I want to go by myself. I know I can do the laps by myself. So I took the gamble. It worked. I was pumped. We did the pit stop and we pulled out. And I was fist bumping and screaming at the top of my lungs in my helmet because all I could think about was all winter testing. I was a second and a half off, all 3 riders. I broke 3 ribs 2 weeks before the race. And all weekend leading up to the race, I was a second to a second and a half off. And all weekend I had Warhorse, my old team, like we're
right
on as good a terms as we can be, but they're also like, Bobby's over there talking shit to me, like, oh, I bet you wish you're on our team now. Like, look how far off the pace you are. Like, and I'm just, bantering with him and just having fun.
Yeah.
But it's getting in my head. I'm like, man, like I'm struggling on this bike. I don't think it's the team's fault, but something's going on and I just can't get comfortable. And all of that emotion just kind of dumped right there. And I was just like, fuck yes. Like, I can't believe that I just ran them down 11 seconds, took a gamble, and now I got a drafting partner who I don't know if he wanted to be there, but now I'm running 1-2 with my teammate, and this is great.
Yep.
And I just, like, as soon as I got out of the pit, I saw him. I look up, I see the Warhorse guys. I know they're like 5th or 6th or whatever they were, and I'm just like screaming in my helmet. And so it definitely wasn't planned, and it was a lot of risk. And I got lucky, and yeah, it worked out. And then, yeah, so I'll leave the rest of it up to you, but
better lucky than you, or I mean, better lucky than good sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
But what a heck of a call though. Just saying, look, I know PJ's schedule, he's going to come in next and I need a drafting partner. I'm taking the risk. Like, good for you.
Yeah. It was, I'm not a big gambler. Like, I mean, I go to Vegas, I have fun sometimes, I like gambling on the golf course, but like I've ran out of gas at Daytona leading before. And, it's, that watch is, I've been offered 100 grand for that watch. And then the team and me, whatever our split is on the 50 grand, but that's a big deal. Like it's not chump change. It's not an amateur race. Like that's a lot of money.
$2,500.
I'm like, dude, I thought about it for like, once I caught up to those guys, cause it took like I don't know how many laps. It took a good bit of time. Once I caught up, that's all that was on my mind. I was like, okay, I'm watching my lap count and I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, dude, you got to do it. I can't risk being by myself again. I don't want to take that much risk to go that fast. And everything worked out perfect. I didn't get caught behind any lappers. I had no moments. Like it all went really smooth. And it took a lot for me to convince myself, but I knew I had to do it if I wanted a chance at winning. And yeah, luckily it paid off. But those are the things that make winners at Daytona, I think. And that's something I've always been, grateful for. I don't know if it was like a natural thing that I have or something I've worked on, but I'm able to think about a lot when I'm racing, where a lot of people, it's like once they get into that race mode, they kind of black out and they can't think during those moments. And being at Daytona, like it's strategy. It's so much strategy and so much risk analysis and just gambling, and like you gotta just go for it sometimes and do things that maybe isn't the right call. I mean, I had that happen at Warhorse too, where one of the years we won, we ran out of gas the year before, and then the next year they tried to call me in, and I was looking at the lap count board on the start finish, and I saw like I had 40 whatever 2 laps or whatever it was, right, 20 laps to go. And I knew like we get 19 laps on a tank of fuel. And I knew if I came in on the lap they wanted me to come in on, I would have had like 22 laps to go in the race.
You'd have to splash.
I'm like, if I come in, I'm going to be out of gas. No, because on the V2, it doesn't like stutter. It just shuts off. Like you're out of gas. Right? Yeah, it doesn't give you any warning. And that paid off too. I stayed out like 3 extra laps and they were freaking out. I saw them waving the board at me and I'm like, dude, I got to stay out. And I even explaining it to them after, they're like, no,
I got to get that window.
Was wrong. But I'm like, no, yours was wrong. I know you're the smart guys, but dude, common sense. Like the smart people don't always have the best common sense. Like this is common sense. There's 30 laps to go and you're trying to call me in when I can only do 29 or whatever it is. Like you got to go longer on this fuel tank. So yeah, I got super lucky, but also that's why when you're 35 years old racing still, you got that, you've smartened up a little bit over the years. So
explain. So, I mean, clearly you've won races because of your experience at Daytona and being able to make calls like that and be able to think quick, given the fact that you're doing 185 miles an hour. And then, so explain the position that Binder is in. It's his first time there. He's, trying to, like, he's literally playing catch up. His first session out was way back on the timesheets, starts making a little bit of progress. Where was his headspace, you think? I mean, because finishing fourth, almost getting on the podium was one of the more impressive rides of the week. How do you, not that you need to explain it, but how do you sort of explain, someone coming there for how impressive is it to you for him being there for the first time and doing that well?
I look at it different. I just say it how it is, right? I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking right now, but I know that every rider's different and I know some are mentally stronger than others. I'm sometimes a little bit weaker when it comes to like, being confident as far as what I'm thinking about when I'm riding. If I was on a bike as a guy who's won Moto 2 races, Moto 3 races, been on a Moto GP bike, if I'm on the bike that won the last 3 races, like I need to go win. I'm not like some rookie coming in. Like, you can call him a rookie because he's a MotoAmerica rookie, but he's not a rookie. Like, that guy's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And he's super fast. I'm thinking I need to go win. But for him, he's probably thinking a little bit different. Oh, it's probably the championship. This isn't just about Daytona. So I think that, fourth place is a good result, but he was whatever, I think a minute and 50 seconds behind or whatever it was like that. So it's not like it was a close race or anything.
Yeah. Minute 7. Yeah.
It made me feel really good to beat those guys by that much. Not anything against Binder, but just all the guys that I worked with at Warhorse. I wanted to beat them more than anything. So I don't know. I mean, did he have a good ride? Yes. Like, could have been better? Yes. I heard there was problems with the bike. They were telling me that he couldn't shift out of 5th gear, but I find that hard to believe, because if you couldn't get out of 5th gear, you're not going to be making it even close to the guys you're racing against without 6th gear on the bank in a Daytona. The gearing just would not allow you to do that. So
he had a good strong run to the finish. I mean, that seems like he was in 6th gear to me. Yeah.
So, Daytona's hard. Like, I saw Xavi come here. When Xavi came on Warhorse the first year, it was the year after I won Supersport Championship. We ran out of gas the year before, and he was like, I don't remember, like a second and a half or 2 seconds off my times there on the same bike. And every session I was giving him a tow. And I love Xavi. This is nothing against Xavi, but that made me realize like how much different Daytona is. So yeah, Daytona takes a little while, I think, to get used to, but you also see these, there's Michael Dunlop came over last year. He was in the lead group for the first time, but I think he did actually like a test here, like maybe an armor race or something. Alessandro, that was Alessandro's.
He did the fall race of champions too. Yeah.
Alessandro's, that was his first Daytona 200 also. And, he finished 5th place, I think. So I was impressed with that. I was impressed with Kayla. I was impressed with Alessandro. Other than that, Tyler Scott's been there for a couple of years. He sets pole every year. I expected him to be closer than he was. They have great pit stops. Richie was there, but he just, that kink he crashed in, I was tucking in it too. Like, you just had to be smart through there. And I think he just was kind of blackout race mode, tuck the front there. PJ, he had 7 seconds on me, and I had stopped pushing because I was hitting every lap, where I'm like, you just got to, this is not in your hands anymore. I had just accepted the fact that like everything you're trying is working against you. So you need to go slow to go fast, take a step back, be smart. And just, in order to win, you must first finish all the laps. That's the number one rule in racing. Yeah. So like PJ to me, like, took a risk he didn't need to take. He didn't need to go around that lap where he could have waited and lost half a second. Been totally fine. So it's,
because you guys were 38 seconds up on Tyler.
Yeah, and that was at the finish. That was when I was riding around doing 52s, 53s, 54s at the end. Like, once I realized, like, oh my God, I really do have a 40. At one point it was 46 seconds. Yeah. And I was going faster lap times than Tyler with a 46-second lead. I'm like, I can like literally go Johnny Rock Page pace right now. No offense to John, but I can go slow. I only say that just because you.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
The times where he was like purposely slowing down to get in the race and being.
There's gonna be like three people that watch this that are gonna understand that reference. I love that.
But I love Johnny. But just, you can take a joke. Absolutely. But I was riding like as slow as I possibly could go, and we still won by 38 seconds. So, yeah, my team crushed the pit stops. I mean, I was nervous going in because they didn't practice a whole lot. They practiced like basically Thursday and Friday. I was nervous, and we crushed it. I mean, it was pretty nuts. And people online talk a lot of shit because they're like, oh, look at World Endurance, look at this. I'm like, dude, we have to fuel after we're done doing tires. Like, it's a totally different process. You get out of a rhythm. So like they slow down a little bit because of that too. Like, they're like really having to be careful they don't touch the bike and like just all this stuff. Yeah. They did fast pit stops. I mean, I was really impressed. And we also ran into problems too, because I won the race the last 3 years, but MotoAmerica made it to where the team that won the race the year before gets to choose their pit stall. So like we got screwed on pit stall.
Oh.
I was in the middle of pit lane instead of on the end, which is a better spot.
And
It
explain
was a
that. Why
lot.
is and a lot of people don't understand that. Can you explain why you like the end stall versus the middle stall, and or why is one end better than the other?
I prefer it because, when you're leaving pit lane, you don't got to worry about a pit limiter, which we
Right.
used to have no pit lane speed. So you could just go as fast as you want. It didn't matter. But now we have to go like 60 kilometers an hour. So it's like whatever that is, 40 something, 50 something. I don't know. But I like you don't have to use a pit limiter when you come out. So you don't got to worry about pressing buttons, and less to think about. But then also, you don't got to worry or think where my pit box is. You just know it's all the way at the end. Where for me, there's bunch of different people going in and out, and there's a lot of different things to look at going down pit lane. It's hard to know exactly where you're at. Luckily, we're right at the clock tower where the road ended, so it was a little easier to see than what I thought it would have been. But it still was scary. I was like, if I pass my pit stall, I'm screwed. So, and it's just good luck. Like I had won 3 years in a row at the end one.
That pit
So
stall.
I wanted the end one. And whenever
Are
I
you
showed up,
are you superstitious at all? Do you have other superstitions?
I put my right boot on first. I put my right glove on first. My right sock, my right leg into the leathers, like that. I've always been weird about. But really, I'm just like I'm so mental about other things. Like people coming up, if somebody's purposely doing it, I could almost tell. But people just coming up asking about like crashing, I'm like, don't talk about crashing. Like, come
Racers
on.
don't like talking about crashing. Yeah.
No. I always
we
throw my
had
leathers on the ground when they're new to like scrape them up.
So funny
I
story with that. When I was with Jordan, we got a brand new suit for Aaron Yates at Daytona. They delivered it at Daytona, and Michael's down on pit road with us, and they deliver Aaron's brand new suit, and Aaron takes it, out of the box and everything, and throws it on on pit lane. And Michael's looking at him like he's crazy. He's like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I got to get the scuffs out of the way first. Just another one of those superstitions, right?
Yeah.
And MJ just didn't understand that at all. He's like, dude, because you want to keep everything in pristine condition. Why are you going to throw it on the ground, right?
Yeah, especially him. I'm sure he wanted his stuff looking nice.
Yeah, and they were white. Everything was white, of
Yeah.
course, as we normally had. Yeah.
I don't shake hands, and it sucks because a lot of people. I guess I should probably talk about it more. That way people know. But like if I'm leaving, if I'm in my suit, I shake hands throughout the weekend. But if I'm like going out for a race, sometimes qualifying, sometimes practice, but usually I'm okay. But if I'm going out for a race and I'm walking, if I'm in my leathers going out and somebody tries to shake my hand, I just like put my knuckles up and I'll do that. But I don't even like doing that. I don't like somebody else's energy touching me because I'm big on the belief that like
That's cool.
if you're touching me and you're thinking negative, then you're gonna put that negative energy on me.
Yeah.
And it
That
just
makes
bad
sense.
luck sometimes. I'm like, I don't know, you may have done something wrong today and it transfers it to me. Like I'm just like that. So I feel bad a lot of times, but I
That's
just
fair.
do not like shaking hands before the race. Like I'll go wash my hands if I touch anybody's hands, and it's not a germ thing. It's just, and I'm not like a super spiritual person, but when I walk into a room, you can feel tension if it's there. Like I'm big on that. So if I shake hands with somebody and they just give me that vibe that they're like negative, I feel like I'm negative then before the race.
Yeah. That's
And then
fair.
other superstitions are just like sometimes I'll like throw a piece of trash in a trash can. And if I miss it, I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna win today. Like stuff like that. Like I'm so weird about stuff like that. Or like if I do something bad, like if like let's just say I say something bad, I'm like, oh, I didn't mean that. Like I don't mean I take it back. Like or I try to do something good to make up for that bad karma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm big on
Just
that
that
because
positive
like
energy. Why not? Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
like and if bad things happen like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm like, all right, sweet. I'm getting it all out of the way. Saturday's gonna be good. Like I'm big like that too. Like so I guess I am pretty I wouldn't say it's like a superstition, but I'm just like a mental psychopath. Like, just
Are there
I'm
are
like
there
that.
but the crazy thing is you're not alone. I mean, how many other people do you know in the paddock that have similar tendencies?
I don't know. Everybody always talks about, like, when I talk about stuff, they're like, just think I'm so weird.
I
Like
don't know.
Bobby Fong's probably the only other guy that I bet is like that. But I
Really?
think most of the guys that we race with now, they're not really like that. I don't know why. It's like the old school guys, all the newer racers. It's like, and I hate to say this, but because MotoAmerica is back now, like I think we're finally getting back to what we used to
Really
be.
good momentum, yeah.
But I think there's so many people that didn't really, like, this wasn't like a real job for them. It was still their hobby, and yeah, they made some money, but they weren't like living off of it. Even if you're a good racer, like a lot of the good racers weren't making money for a long time. And I know this may sound weird, but maybe that's what it is. Like, this has been my job since I was 16, and I've never made money any other way, and I don't have a rich family to go to if it doesn't work. And and I've been racing motorcycles since I was 6. So this is all I've done my whole life. And I take it so serious. Like, I get such a bad rap because of things I say and do. And like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like getting mad at people on the track, whatever, flipping people off. But I'm just like really into it. Like, that's all I care about. I care about my family, and I care about racing the motorcycle and trying to win. And if I'm not winning, why am I here? Because yeah, like, I'm doing what I love, and if I get hurt, I get hurt. But I'm risking my body and my life, even though I don't want to sound like I'm not trying to exaggerate. But at any moment, something could go wrong, and I could not be alive tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
it happens.
so yeah, I take it super serious. Like, this is
especially places like Daytona with the speed and everything else that's there. Yeah, and you say that you got a bad rap doing that, but maybe it's because people didn't experience the Miguel de Hamels of the world back in the day,
Matt Mladen.
because the riders meetings that we would go. So my first riders meeting at Daytona when I was in the 600 Supersport class, right? The riders meeting at Daytona went something like this, right? So
say the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, exactly. The race director would give his little speech, and then he would walk away, and everyone else would stay there, and the rest of the riders meeting would be run by
Larry Pegram, Miguel Duhamel, Matt Mladen.
Exactly. Scotty Russell, Eddie Lawson, whoever. And Miguel's the first one to tell you, if you don't, like, when you're going out on the banking from like turn 6, right, or out of the chicane or something, you better leave a lane. And if you don't leave a lane for the fast guys coming through, he's like, I'll just punch you off the racetrack. And it's like, okay, of course, like, you can't sanction that, right? But certainly they were like, look, here's the deal. You're at Daytona and you're not fast. And so you need to leave us a lane, or you're going to have a problem. And, but if Josh Herrin said that at a riders meeting tomorrow, everyone would, tear your head off.
Yeah, they hate me. There's so many people that hate me. I don't really understand why. And even mechanics, every year when I go into like a new season with somebody, I'm like, fuck, here we go. This guy for sure does not like me, because I just have this like thing. Like, people just, I don't know. I'm like easy to hate. I don't really understand it. Like, I respond to people. I think that's why. But I always got to be like, hey, I know that you have this image of me, but I promise that we'll be friends. Like, I love working with people, and I love everybody until they do something wrong. And the whole paddock's like a high school, and everybody talks to each other and they tell each other everything. And I'm not like that. So I don't kiss ass to all these people to make people like me like all the other riders do. Like, I'm not all of the riders, but a lot of them. I'm not like that. And so I think people just don't like you because of it. And then you say something like you said, I grew up seeing Mladen. When I was 16 years old, I was testing at Road Atlanta. Matt Mladen comes flying by me on the Superbike, flipping me off. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what did I do? Like, I was afraid to get in his way.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can't do that. Like, you're everybody just hates you because you did something. It's like, dude, this is my job. And you're a guy that's out here because you want to feel what it's like to make a Daytona 200. Like, that camera guy, like, everything is fine now because I won. But in that moment, dude, I mean, I know it's Will, like, it's the guy on the far right, and he's such a nice guy, and I felt so bad. like after I won, I'm like, okay, I'm totally fine. But apparently he was like not having a good time. And apparently some people said some really bad stuff to him. And I apologize if any of our guys said anything, but you got to understand what's at stake here. Like, not only what I talked about, $100,000, $100,000 watch, maybe more to some people. I know people will say, oh, it's 30 grand. I looked it up on eBay. It's a one of one. It's engraved on the back. It's a collector piece. And I've been offered six figures for that watch. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah. Not to
and then you
mention
get a $50,000
cash.
Yeah.
Not to mention 50K cash. Yeah.
But also, like, this is my going for 4 in a row. Like, that's something that in the next 50 years, somebody might not be able to do again. And to have it all be lost because of a guy filming for Instagram on a camera. Like, imagine that thought in my head. Like,
yeah,
what's happening right now?
So earlier tonight, I had, so I told you via text, I was going to have a special guest on with you who was Pat Gonzalez. And,
okay.
So I had Pat on earlier, and we were talking through a lot of different Daytona scenarios and everything. And one of the things that we talked about was whether or not camera people should be limited from being out on pit road, at least to a certain distance, because you have so many people coming in and going out, and they're not paying attention to what's happening behind them, which is a massive safety issue. If you're there working as an official or as a corner worker or something like that, one of the first things that they're telling you is never turn your back to traffic. And yet you have, 20 cameramen on pit road with their back to traffic, trying to, get all these shots. And this is the first time I've been going down there for 41 years, since 1985. This is the first time I've ever seen someone hit a cameraman. But here's the perfect example of why you don't turn your back to traffic and why you shouldn't be standing out there with a camera.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I don't, going back and watching the race, even the camera crew, like when you see videos of our pit stop from like an iPhone, the camera guys, even like the TV guys, were so close to my guys while they're working on the bike. Like, dude, give us some space.
Necessary.
And that's the TV crew. So to have somebody there that's filming for Instagram to make a reel, like I love all the videographers that are at our races. And trust me, because I'm an Instagram guy and I have been for a long time, I love my reels. But for me to almost lose all that money, to lose the watch, this is what's going through my head as it happened. Like, I'm not going to get the 4 in a row and the tie with Scott Russell. Like, that is a huge, huge, huge deal to me. Like, and
everybody else in the stadium, because we all thought the exact same thing. We're like, oh my God. And the first thing we're thinking is, at least the condition of the motorcycle as you drive away from that incident. The rest of us are going, fuck, like, did something break? Like, what's going to happen now?
Yeah. And
unbelievable.
I honestly have been really disappointed that MotoAmerica hasn't talked about what happened a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because when I do something that maybe I'm embarrassed of, or something, like I said, I get hot and I say stuff. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I don't get that time to think. I just, I'm real, I'm me. And I know there's a show, and I'm not saying that I say things to get attention, but I'm not going to hold back in the moment thinking about what if I say this. No, you asked me. You are a camera crew that works for the series. You're coming to me after a heated moment and you're asking me what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. They're never afraid to blast me for things that happen. And it sucks, because then I got to deal with people online leaving comments and messaging me and saying all this shit and threatening me after me and Richie crash at Daytona. I get Mexican fans that were like threatening me and stuff. I'm like, dude. But then that was a MotoAmerica guy.
Which in my professional opinion of doing this for a long time, that was your line. That was your spot to be in.
I think so too.
And he came back into you. So sorry.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But for them to not at least talk about what happened and have like a video explaining what happened, like, yeah, this could have been bad, but everything's fine now. Like, we learned from it, whatever. Because that was their video guy also. It wasn't like no other videographers were allowed on the pit lane except MotoAmerica videographers. So it has just bummed me out a little bit that they didn't, like, hey, that's a big story. Hey, everybody messes up. It's fine. I get it. Like, something happened. And guess what? Karma worked out, like I said, and I ended up getting what I think everybody knew I deserved and what would have happened anyways, because I hate to say it, like, a PJ was running a good race, but I know that I had that in the bag. And it ended up working out. It worked out.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. I went and talked to Will. I laughed about it. Like, it's all good. We can talk about it now because nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
Put it behind us, and I'll give him shit for the rest of his life. Even if he gets mad at me for it, doesn't matter. But they should talk about it a little bit. I mean, it wasn't good, but you can't just hide from it. And that's, I feel like, what they've done. And to me, it was part of the story, and you gotta just say what happened. You can't hide it because the narrative isn't good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, even if we come back and just play the play the card of the fact that it's not safe for them to be out there with their back to traffic. I mean, that's an easy place to start that conversation,
Yeah.
But
that's for sure. I had somebody say, I can't believe, and this was actually a guy on the TV crew for MotoAmerica. I can't believe that you guys are cussing him out instead of checking to see if he's okay.
He shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Dude, first of all, he shouldn't have been. Trust me, I'm happy that he's okay. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And as I'm leaving, I was thinking, I hope that dude's all right, because I'm not stopping. Obviously, there's hundreds of people and there's ambulances right there. And I know he's not in any kind of life-threatening condition. He ran away from me. He ran. But I couldn't believe that he left that comment. I'm like, dude, the initial reaction to our team losing the biggest race in America at first is going to be, what the fuck are you doing? It's not going to be, oh, stop. Are you okay?
Yeah.
It's just not. No matter what situation you're in. This isn't basketball. And this isn't a referee getting knocked over during the game. Like,
and it's one thing if they want to say, well, the team should check on him. It's another to think that you would be checking on him, because how are you going to know who the guy is? Because like that's 100% not your focus.
He was saying it about the team, but still, dude, they're working. They have to get off pit lane, like they're leaving. Like he ran away from the scene. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like okay, he's got a broken toe or something. Like the guy's fine. I stopped. Like, I hit him, but I came to a stop. Like, we basically just bumped. It wasn't like I ran him over and kept going.
And you almost fell off. I mean,
my bike stalled. Yeah, the bike stalled. I thought I fell. I had kind of let go of the handlebars, and I was like, okay, another, like I said, it was like angels in the outfield that day. Like, I just let go of the handlebars. Like, right here, what you're seeing in this photo is like right before I hit him. He kind of turned and like had that deer in the headlights stare and didn't know which way to go. And then I hit him, and I just had let go, and I was like, all right. Like,
and just so people know, and just so people kind of know what's happening, as Josh is pulling out of here and going right and going around him, he backed up into Josh.
Yeah, he was kind of like doing a shot where he was pulling away from the shot.
Right. Because what people can't see is PJ behind the other crew member there. PJ's getting ready to leave his pit stall also.
Yeah. But even like behind PJ on the left, like all of these people are like technically in pit lane. Like, what are they doing? Like, dude, get off.
They're standing in the gap. They're all standing in the gap there.
There's two MotoAmerica officials there. I think one of them technically is supposed to watch. Like, they're checking, and one might have been for me and one might have been for PJ. But like, that's my dad standing behind them with his iPhone in the black. And then there's like, I think that's I don't know, maybe actually I see a white line, but like, there's too many people there. Like, it's just get out of the way.
It was a mess. So, but before I show the next picture that I wanted to show, some people may not know that you're a collector, and not only are you collecting Daytona chronograph watches, of which you should have 5 now, But you collect a lot of other things as well. Talk about some of the stuff that you like collecting.
Yeah. So before we did the show, obviously I know that you used to work with Jordan. I saw on your YouTube channel that you had a lot of stuff in the background of your studio here.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to go do his podcast. But I told him, like, I want to trade you for some Jordan cards because I know you have some of those. I just knew. I'm like, if he has all that, he's probably got some unopened packs of these Jordan cards.
I do.
So I told him that. And he told me, yeah, I'll bring you some to Road America. And so we were talking before the show started. So here's, I'll take this out of the pack. People that see this are going to think I'm not. Any collectors that are watching this, I sent this card into PSA. Yeah, there's a Yates card. What year is that one?
Yeah, that's so that's 07. I have some 07s and 08s.
Here's a 2010 Yates card. So that one was signed by him, and like we talked about, stickers. So like whenever they get these, they're stickers on a sheet. They sign all of them, and then the upper deck puts that on the card. So I sent it into PSA, but they denied it for whatever reason. It says no spec info, no grade voucher. So it's really weird because I've had these same cards graded before, but I'm I was a collector of baseball cards. And then when I started realizing that there was motorcycle cards, I started collecting those. So like, these are like my Nicky collection. I mean, I probably have like 60 of these. Like, it's just Nicky after Nicky. So here's Wayne Rainey card. I had him sign. Oh, yeah, upside down. And then another one that I had him sign. But I mean, I'm talking, I probably have, I don't know, 60 Nicky autographs. Here's some Rossi cards that I got graded. I have one Rossi autograph card right here. And then like, this is my Daytona. I know this is weird because I did it myself, but I was like, I don't care. I just want to see if they'll do it. I sent in the general admission to Daytona 2023. So that was my second win, but the first one in, I don't know, I guess that was 13 years or something. So I signed it and sent it in, and they authenticated it, which is, they won't authenticate everything because they don't have, they don't have like my signature on a file that they can authenticate.
Yeah, like they don't have the data or the back, to be able to validate it. Yeah.
And then they put on here like average speed, like, which was cool. It's not really something we ever talk about in our sport, so it was kind of weird. I see like Isle of Man says that, but we don't. So average speed was 114.1 miles an hour. I think this year was 117, which I thought about it. That's actually kind of cool. I think it was over 57 laps. The average speed was 117 miles an hour, but half of the track is second gear corners. So to be going that fast over 57 laps for 2 hours or something like that, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what the data is. You probably know the data. One of the stats that I always thought was cool when we were looking at the Jordan Superbike stuff was one of the stats that came out of that in 2008 was that the Aaron Yates on our Superbike coming out of the chicane on the back section all the way around to turn 1. The data showed him being at full throttle, of course, going through gears, but showed him at full throttle for 28 seconds. And if the average person just counts down 28 seconds,
that's the banking. Time. That's from the chicane to the start finish. That's how long it takes
to turn one.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, if you think about like the last split, I mean,
right. So coming out of the chicane, you're probably third gear, right? So full throttle, third gear up onto the banking, right? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, at some point, all the way around through the tri-oval, and then shutting off going into turn 1. The data was showing 28 seconds at full throttle.
Yeah. So I just looked up the track map and the split 3. Let's see. So split, start, finish. Yeah. Split 3 at Daytona is from the exit of the chicane to the start finish line. And this year, which we're on Supersport bikes, obviously it's not a super bike, but my fastest lap was a 48.8, and it was 21 seconds that I was wide open that was in that split. So that was just from the exit of the chicane to the start finish line. So yeah, it's probably another 3 seconds there. So 20, maybe 2 seconds. So 24 seconds, 23 seconds.
Still 20 seconds. It's still a long time to be.
And then you have the other banking too. So
Right.
so that's split 2 is from the exit of turn 6 to the exit of the chicane, and that is 30.8 seconds, and I'd say about 7 of that is in the turn. So
chicane,
that's it's like 40-45 seconds worth of wide open on that track just on the 2 bankings out of a minute and 48 lap.
Yeah, which brings you to one of the questions. Obviously, you're riding more than just the Ducati. You're riding that Light Fighter electric bike as well. And one of the comments prior to the race was that you guys might have a problem with that because of the amount that you're at full throttle and the length of the racetrack. Did any of that really come true? Did you guys find problems with that losing power being wide open for that long?
So our problem was, we ran into a lot of problems, but we knew we were going to because Daytona is just such a monster. I can't even tell you all the I don't know enough about the bike to really tell you, like, not about the bike, but I'm not.
It's new. It's new.
I'm a racer, and I don't know that technology. So one of the problems that we have in dumbed down terms was that not the battery wasn't getting too hot, but the motor, I believe, was getting too hot because at Daytona, like we just said, we're on the full throttle on the banking for 40 something seconds. It could be a little bit longer on that bike because it's a little bit slower than the Supersport bike. But it was just too long, just in that wide open. So it was getting too hot, and it was derating. So they call it derating. It's when the engine starts slowing down because it knows it's getting hot. And so it was just it was unsafe at that track. So they just made the call to pull it, not go race it.
Gotcha.
We did practice and qualifying, and it cutting out like that. They just didn't want to take the risk. They thought that it would have worked, but they didn't want to take the risk. And this is kind of a development year for that bike. We're just lucky enough to be able to race it. There's good enough funding behind it that we can go race it to develop the bike instead of sitting at test tracks and trying to figure all this information out. So it's been nice. I mean, I really enjoy that team. I enjoy that bike. We knew Daytona was going to be hard. We know COTA is going to be kind of hard, but these smaller tracks like Barber and Mid-Ohio and Laguna Seca and the Ridge, like that's tracks I think we'll be competitive at. Because if you look at Daytona, like I didn't do a whole lot of laps. Actually, me and Caleb didn't, but Caleb's bike was derating in different spots than mine, but the infield, his was working pretty well. And he was within a second of the infield time of the top guys in the Super Hooligan class. So for him to only have done like 10 laps and to be within a second of the best time of the weekend, like in that 50-second split in the infield, the bike is a good race bike. It's just on the banking. So like when we go testing, our bikes are we were doing faster lap times than what the Harleys were doing at the test tracks we went to. So like Chuckwalla and Podium Club. So this is at Chuckwalla. We went faster than what the bikes that won at Daytona were doing. But at Daytona, it was such a different animal that we knew it was going to be difficult. And the guys at Orange Cat Racing and Light Fighter they're so good to work with, and they really run that whole program. Like, I mean, it feels like a Formula One program. Like they are spending a lot of money. We went to a team launch in Miami at the Concourse Club, which was like a really nice private track. And we had such a nice event with super good food. Everybody on the team that was at the event could go and do hot laps in BMW M2s. There was race car simulators. Like, I mean, it was sick. They're paying for my video guy to go to every race to film like a documentary on the year. It's top notch. And they do a really good job. And I think people will definitely see what they're all about, throughout the rest of the year.
Are you doing any press up here in the Chicago area since Orange Cat is based here and Johnny Chef is here?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's funny you just brought that up. I was thinking about it as you were talking right now that you're in Chicago and they're there.
Yep.
So I don't know what their plans are. I know that they do like their Orange Cat Fest up there, which is like an event they have at Autobahn every year. And then at Road America, they're having like a really big hospitality setup. He's doing like kind of like a party there.
Yeah.
So it should be, man, it's such a top-notch program. It's so cool. I mean, there's such a new team, and so many of the top-level teams in Moto America could learn so much from Andrew and Jeff on how they run that program. And I I was a little bit nervous when I joined the team because I didn't know a whole lot about them. But in the talks that I had with them, I quickly like started to really like the things that they were saying. I was originally talking to them about trying to get on the Superbike, and whenever they let me know that, hey, they decided to go with Sean Dillon Kelly for the Superbike, and so I you know, my gears were just turning. I was like, hey, you mentioned something about this light fighter bike, this electric bike for the Super Hooligan class. What are your thoughts on me doing that? I'd be doing Supersport. If I don't get the Superbike right, I'm trying to get a Supersport. So I don't mind doing 2 classes if I'm racing Supersport, but if I'm doing Superbike, I don't want to do 2 classes. But so what are your thoughts on that? And they were like, really, you would want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, like that. I think that class is cool. I like the naked style. And I think a lot of people are going to start enjoying that class. It's fun to watch. We get a lot of new fans, I think, into the sport because of that. And my dad's been talking about that style of racing for a long time. He's like, I think that's what people would like to see, because that's what people are riding on the street, are those type of bikes.
Yeah.
So if they could see the same bikes they're riding on the street on the racetrack, it might want them to, they might want to get involved, go try racing it or go into a track day, whatever. And they were stoked. So the whole partnership's been great. And from the very first event I did with them, I was really excited to be there. And I told them I have like this little kid happiness when I go ride with them, because it's just such a good environment. So yeah, I'm happy.
How crazy is it to ride a bike that doesn't really have a clutch and a shifter and the same vibration and everything else? Did that take a minute to get used to?
Yeah, because even now, like, I got on the bike at Daytona and I go to grab the clutch to like put it in gear, and I'm like, damn it, I forget every time. Like, so once I'm on the bike, I don't do that. Like once I'm riding it, but I for sure go to grab the clutch and lift up on the shifter, and I'm like, damn, there is no shifter here, no clutch, no noise, no vibration. You just hear a lot of things, but you're able to like oddly like focus more, even though you're not hearing any distractions. So it's like, it's a little bit more fun to ride. And I was filming at Podium Club at our test on the Rahal bike, and I was talking to my video guy, excuse me, and telling him like, hey, I noticed my boots are like so clean. I'm like, oh, it's because there's no like, I don't know, it's just not all this muck from the bike all the time. I'm like, what's weird is I'm starting to find like a lot of things that I'm liking about this bike over the regular bikes. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I noticed that. I didn't say anything, but I noticed like you complain a lot about the other bikes now, and you like the electric bike. It's just fun. Like, I don't know if you saw the social media stuff we did with the Electric Avenue song, and like we're just having a lot of fun with it, and it's different. And you get a lot of hate on social media for it, and I understand that. Like, whatever, people in our sport, like, they don't want to see electric take over. They don't want to see that, and I was the same way. Any what do you call them, like gearhead, like, you don't want to see electric taking over. But it's so cool. Like, these guys don't want that either. They're not like trying to take over. They just want to do something different that nobody's done before. Yeah. And they're trying to bring something a little bit different to our sport. And I think once you ride it, all that shit goes out of your head, because it is such a fun bike to ride. And I wish that everybody could just come ride it for free. Like, I wish it was, maybe he'll do that. Like Andrew he's just kind of crazy like that. He might be like, hey, we're having a track day and everybody's welcome to come try a bike. Like, he's the kind of guy that would do something like that. And I really hope that he does, because people would just fall in love with it. And they actually they're making them, they're available now. So what they're doing is, we're doing this design partner program where like the public, like anybody can buy one of these bikes, and it's like this experience that they get. So you buy the bike, you get invited to do, it's like, I don't know what it is, like 6 test days with me and with like the other riders. And you get to kind of like design your bike that you'll take delivery of the next year. So you get to ride like 10 days. You get all this bonus stuff with the bike. It's not just buying a bike. Like, you get all this crazy stuff with the bike. So that's cool. If anybody's interested in trying it, just just look up Light Fighter. Let me check out their website really quick.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
lightfighter-racing.com.
Yeah, and it's not like electric bikes are new by any means, right? I mean, the Zeros have been out for a long time. There's a lot of the Energetica that was ridden by Stefano Mesa. He had some fun with that. I remember we were at a race at Sonoma 07, 08 maybe, and they had an electric race at Sonoma as part of the Superbike Championship. And I didn't even know that it started because you couldn't hear anything. Like they were all loaded up and they took off, and I was like, "Oh shit, I missed the start," but because you couldn't hear anything, and there was, I don't know, I want to say there was like 9 or 10 bikes or something, because Steve Rapp rode one of them, and I think it was like right after he won the Daytona 200 on the Kawasaki.
Yeah, I remember Eric Bostrom was in that series too. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, it's definitely not new, but what they're doing, like they have like a cooling system on the bikes. There's like a actual radiator that's cooling the batteries down and the motor. And they're just, I can't talk about what they're doing now, but the things that they're doing and the technology that these guys have and the resources that they have, they're doing some really, really cool stuff that the riders are really helping with the development. And you're going to see a lot of stuff that you have not seen in our industry before. So that's cool. It's obviously like right now there's like there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about that we've been testing and stuff. It's bigger than just us going out and racing it. I think they're doing the racing to show what it's capable of doing, but it's special. That's for sure.
Love it. So obviously you're on a Ducati. One of the things that I've always said, when people say, "Oh, I'm just going to go buy a Ducati and I'm going to go racing because it's clearly the best motorcycle in the paddock." But what a lot of people don't understand is that if you don't have a relationship with Italy and a direct connection to the factory, it's not that easy. And obviously, last few years you've been working with Araldo Faraci. Talk a little bit about your relationship with Araldo. What does Araldo bring to the paddock, his history and all that? And I know he's a little bit more of a bystander now than he used to be in the paddock, but did you have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, amazing. It's one thing that I don't want to say that I'll regret, because there was a reason why I didn't do it. My son had a really big event that he was doing, and I needed to come back home and be there for my son. But Faraci had, he was the guest of honor, I think, or the grand marshal for the vintage race at Barber this last year. And I was supposed to be there and hang out with him. And I saw Richard Stamboli talking about it on his podcast. Like, oh yeah, that might be why he lost his ride. Like, just talking out of, just people talking, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't go because I needed to be somewhere for my son. And I felt like that was something that I needed to do. And Faraci understood. And, it's, but I'll always be bummed I didn't make that for him. But it had nothing to do with why I wasn't on Warhorse and it didn't affect my relationship with Faraci at all. But he's family to me. He treated my wife and Griffin like they were his kids, and he treated me like I was his kid. And he, like you said, he was a different scene for him at the races. He was kind of there, he was helping, but he was there he was part of it, but it was different than what he was used to. He wasn't as involved. He was actually, I don't know how to really say it. He wasn't like a team manager or a team owner, but he was there and he was making sure that everything was getting done right.
Yeah. And I feel like he's a conceptual leader. Like he wants to make sure that the process is correct. And it helps that he speaks high-speed Italian, right? I mean, all of these things that matter when you're dealing with a manufacturer like Ducati, and there might be a little bit of a language gap, right? And he can help kind of bridge that a little bit sometimes.
He just made sure, obviously there's a lot of moving pieces to every team, but without Faraci, that program wouldn't have been what it was. even if it's just for the laughs in the pit and the motivation and, you know, crying with you when you win. Like, I mean, he literally was just we had so many races where it just brought him to tears, and he's just so happy. And we shared some memories that I can't even talk about. You know, we did things together after the races and took him to places that we just can't even talk about. He's just such a fun guy to hang out with and just go and do crazy shit. And like, it's just, he's a legend. And yeah, I'll remember those years forever and be so grateful that I got to be a part of his story and win the Superbike title for him. You know, he was the one that got Ducati's last championship. That was in 1994. And then for us to win in 2024, 20 years later, that's Ducati's, that was their next championship. Yeah, it's just so many like amazing memories with him, and just the respect that he had for my wife Rachel, and how much he always tells me how amazing of a girl she is and how great of a parent she is to our kids. And it goes so much more. When I think of Faraci, I don't think of the races. I think of just what our personal relationship is. And
what a great person he is.
Yeah. So and I saw him at Daytona and talked to him, and it's not like anything new. And it's not like I stopped talking to him when I left Warhorse. Like, he'll always be family to me. And, but it was good to see him there, and he doesn't see me as somebody on another team. He sees me still as his kid, you know? So, special guy, and just so pumped that I got to be a part of his whole story.
A couple of people that always give me joy being in the paddock area. One is seeing Mr. Faraci, which I refuse to call him by his first name. I just can't do it. I just have way too much respect for him. So he's always Mr. Faraci to me. And then Earl Hayden was the other.
Yeah.
I just always enjoyed seeing Earl, and Earl always made time to come see me and say hello and stuff. And just two people that just always made me happy to see in the paddock. But
for sure.
But another part of your history, going little ways back, who's this guy?
Yeah. That's 2000. That should be 2011. That's me on the bike. Sky Gerard there to the left was holding the bike. Gary Dean, who's a crew chief that I had for a lot of race wins. Ollie Hutchinson, who's on Orange Cat Racing now, there right behind me with the yes on his shirt. And then Tommy Aquino there, who is a teammate of mine and great friends, you know, growing up. We grew up racing CMRRA together when we were kids. And miss him every day for sure.
So that was about 2011. So that was right after your first Daytona win with the Graves Yamaha team.
Yep.
Out somewhere around there.
Yeah, that was 2011. I think at Utah. I think it looked like Utah there in the garages. We had a test. We won the title or the Daytona 200 with them in 2010, I think. But that was the next year. The first year they had Monster on the bike.
And you were 19 then? Does that sound about right?
I was 21 there.
21. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would have been 20 in that photo, but
somewhere one of the stats said that when you won the 200, you were 19, but you were born in,
because it was in March. So I was born in May, so it was the race in March, and that was in 2020. So I would have been 19 still. Yeah,
gotcha.
I was like the youngest to ever win it, and then they're like, actually, no, you're the youngest to ever win it on the asphalt. I think it was Brad something won it in 1940 something or whatever it was on the beach. I'm like, come on.
So it was. So it was this guy actually. So it was
Brad Andres.
Yeah. So there was a couple Clamforth. So Dick Clamforth won it. He was young. He won it 3 times on the beach. The other person was Michael Saccato, who won it in 76. He was 19 years old, and you were 19. And then after you was Brandon Posh at 19.
I think was Posh 19? I think the one that was younger was Joey Pasquarella, but it was when it wasn't like a MotoAmerica or AMA event. It was it was
CCS race. Then?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stats are weird for a while because it got away
Yeah.
from AMA Pro and was CCS and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I wish that never happened, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Dick
And then
Clamforth.
Dick Clamforth, yeah, his daughter Christy Clamforth is the one that now manages the monument down on the beach.
Ah,
Her and Al Charles, who are part of ARMA, they do that. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So Pat Gonzalez and I, we do the induction ceremony every year on the Wednesday before the 200. So yeah, so so for instance, I mean, I don't know, do you have a plaque down there already?
no, we talked about it. It was
I think we need just to wait till you're done winning.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to buy, like, it used to be when I was younger. I guess then before he passed away, he probably somehow was just, when they would win, he would put it there. But then after he died, they started like doing donations for him, and then you got to pay for your own, or somebody's got to pay for it for you. And
Somebody has to
I'm
pay
not
for it, yeah.
paying for my plaque to be put up. And if I did pay, I would want the actual statue like they would do before. And because I've won 5 now, I'm like, I don't want just a plaque. So I told Rachel, I was like, unless Ducati pays for that or someone like that, I'm not doing that.
Somebody will nominate you and somebody will pay for it. But let's wait till you're done winning them.
It's not
because there's going to be more.
That I don't
right?
want to pay for it. That's not what it is. It's just that I don't want to do that for myself. Like that's not right.
No, exactly. No, I agree. It's weird. It's weird. And I know people that have done it, for themselves. It's just, I feel like it's more of an honor when someone else does it for you.
Yeah.
When someone else nominates you for it. It just makes
and
more
I
sense.
don't I don't know if it's just in my head, but I think it used to be just the winners of the Daytona 200 or whatever other big events there were, not just, you can just put your name now there just because you donated money. Like, it took away from it. I don't know if there's like just a section for winners still, but I always thought, oh, there is. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah. But it's a little bit of everything. So yeah, there's short track, dirt track guys and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. The starter. Yeah. Like like some of the guys like Bobby Lemming, who was the starter at Daytona for a long time, stuff like that. So, but yeah. Let's see. I saw somewhere. Well, let's talk a little bit about, obviously most of your racing's been done here, but you went overseas, did a little bit of Moto 2. What was that experience for you?
Oh, it was horrible. It was cool, like getting to go and do it and travel and ride those tracks and stuff, but I was owed a lot of money, and I don't feel like I was on a competitive bike, and it was just kind of like your dreams just kind of like got ripped away. Like, I'll never feel like I achieved what I really wanted to achieve. And the older I get, the less I care about that, but you'll always, they say like never give up, like never stop chasing your dreams. But I'm not gonna. I don't think the chance of me being a MotoGP champion or, it's probably not gonna happen.
Talk about how hard that is, though. Did you go over there by yourself, or did you have family with you to go with you, like your brother or anybody?
I went by myself, and my girlfriend at the time was going with me, and that probably wasn't the greatest idea. I should have just either been by myself or been with some family, or probably by myself just with other riders would have probably been the best thing. But I never lived over there. I should have lived over there. I kept flying back and forth, and it was just a bad period.
Yeah. So this year, unfortunately, you're not on a superbike. Is there a chance you're going to be on a superbike at some point this year or next year? Do we know?
I hope so. I mean, I got a 2-year deal with Rahal, and that's come up in discussions. That's their goal is to have 2 superbikes, but there's no guarantee of that happening. It's just something that they want to do, and I would like to do, and I hope so.
This came together kind of late, and obviously budget and the parts allocations, all that stuff was already kind of sorted out by the time by the time you landed there, right? So
exactly. So and I don't know if even logistically it would have been impossible, and also just raising the money to be able to do it. And you know, PJ had already been on the team for however many years and earned like his right to go in to do it. So I'm happy being in Supersport, and I'll make more money this year racing Supersport and Hooligan than I was in Superbike the last couple of years. So I'm happy, and I have fun in Supersport. I love the V2. I'm having a lot of fun with this team, and you know, if I can end up racing Superbike with them, sweet. But I also want to make sure we're able to be competitive. I don't want to do it if we're not competitive, and it's also so much less stress too.
So do you want to secretly see how good PJ's bike is before you?
Oh yeah,
ride one?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was a little bit relieved. I was like, hey, this is better for me anyways. Like I'm going to a bike I know. I've won this championship before. I get to do Daytona again, and we get to kind of like let there be there's just naturally going to be some growing pains like going and doing Superbike for the first year. So, you know, if you guys still want me to, you know, if there's the ability to race Superbike the next year, great. And if not, you know, it's cool. It's the main class, but it's so stressful. Racing a Superbike, like I love it, but it is so stressful.
And it's
the coolest part about it is just riding that bike and being able to tell people like, oh yeah, I'm in Superbike. But it's
the premier class, and it's kind of where all the pressure is, and that's, you know, and like you said, you know, it's probably easier just to not have that pressure this year and just roll into a situation that's a lot more comfortable maybe. So taking yourself out of the Superbike class, what are your expectations for that class this year? Because a lot of moving around. You know, Skoltz is moving back up, and
you know, it's I hate to say it. It's not that I have anything against Bobier, but you know, I had a lot of hate for, you know, what happened last year with me on the Superbike and not getting that ride again. But you know, I had been told by everybody at Ducati and Simone, my crew chief, like this bike is going to be so much better than what you're on now, and it's a half a second to a second quicker than what you're on now, and so it's going to be near impossible to beat Bobier on that bike. I know Sean Dillon Kelly's been going really fast on the orange cap bike, and PJ's obviously going to be on the same bike as Cameron, but he's also coming back into Superbike, hasn't been in it for a little while. So it'll be like I said, it'll be a learning year for Rahal. I want them to go out and win, but I think that he has the potential as a rider to be there, and the team is a good enough team, but you got to put all those pieces together, and it's just a lot of new stuff happening. And
a lot
but you know, PJ won races on the BMW, and it seemed like Cameron struggled for a little while to win races on it. So, you know, you never know. I mean, I think going into it, it's hard to say somebody will go and beat Cameron, but you're on the same motorcycle. So if the bike is a good package.
Yeah. What do you think of the new structure with the Superbike Cup, getting rid of Superstock, stuff like that? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, to me, if you're a professional race series, there shouldn't be a class that you shouldn't be able to race in. You know, if it's stock 1,000, but I can't race in it, you know, I don't think that should be considered a professional class. Same with Supercross, like guys not being able to race 250. I just don't agree with that. If you're a professional series and this is the highest level, I should be able to race in any of the classes that are available. I don't know how the rules are now in stock 1,000, if they've changed that or not, because I won that title when it was it's called stock 1,000 now. I don't know, but they changed the rules to where like if you were a Superbike rider, you couldn't go back to that class, or if you've won championships or races before, you can't. I don't know what it is, but I don't really like mixing like the stock 1,000 bikes with Superbike, because it makes it easier for us to have problems with lap riders and stuff. But it's I prefer it to just be separate, like Superbike, stock 1,000, and I think stock 1,000 should be more of a stock bike. Like I think that would be cool if it was just, you know, stock bikes. And a lot of the different championships now, it's like they feel bad for the manufacturers that aren't coming out with the new bikes, so then they slow down the new bike. So it's like, what's the point in developing new motorcycles if you're not going to let us just be the best motorcycle because we put the money and the time into developing that bike? So MotoAmerica does it. They do a really good job with the stuff that they do. There's always going to be things that, we would like to change or see different, but they do what they need to do because it's the best for what they think how the series needs to be ran. But I would like to see more of a stock class, like be a true stock 1000 class. And
Well, what do you think about that? I mean, obviously, Supersport now has really just become a middleweight superbike class. It's, I mean, those bikes are just about as expensive to build as a superbike is, to some degree, and so there isn't really a production class anymore for people to start in, except for a 1000cc, but it doesn't seem like a new young rider should start on a 1000cc motorcycle. Obviously there's the talent cup slash, the kids cup bikes and stuff like that. And then there's twins, but twins is just sort of a twin superbike class because those bikes are expensive as hell to build too. There isn't really like a production class that's inexpensive to get involved in. Like
that's
where does that even play these days?
That's why I think that they need to have more of a stock class, like, or a spec stock class or something. Where I just think that it needs to be like literally like a bike with some bodywork and exhaust and some rear sets and bars,
like the old 600 Supersport used to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now nobody makes 600, so
yeah. But I do think that that's what needs to happen, or there just needs to be a stock 600 class, like you're saying, like just something to where it's. I like spec classes. Like I don't really like the spec tire thing. Like I love Dunlop, but I do wish that there was more involvement from other manufacturers because I think it's just if you have more manufacturers, they can be more competitive. They'll make better tires. There's more money in it for everybody. You can get free tires from this company or get paid by this company. So that hurts us. It helps the series. But I do think that a spec motorcycle would be kind of cool. You have the Kramer class now, like that's cool for the kids. But if you had that for an adult where it's easy for them to come in, like if you had like a whatever it is, a stock V2 or an R6 or whatever the bike is, doesn't matter. But there's like a fleet of them and you draw names out of hats, kind of like the Bagger Cup's doing right now in GP, like something like that to where, but it's an affordable bike that anybody can just pay like, whatever. Let's just say you can come in and like for $5,000, you can go race that bike that weekend and do something like that. Raise sponsors. Like everybody has the same bike, same look, but you just get a different logo on the side. I think that's what we need to get, more people involved and make them think that they have a chance, because right now nobody wants to not race CVMA because why would they do that when it's cheaper and it's local to them? It's too expensive to come. They're not going to compete with us. But there's, like I said, everybody has an idea and everybody would do it a different way if they could. So,
it's kind of nuts. The one of the questions from someone watching the show says, hey, thanks for coming on, Josh. What's the one piece of advice you would give to young riders coming up through MotoAmerica?
Probably just to always have fun. I mean, just try to have fun. I take racing super serious, but I always just try to be myself at the track and have fun and not overthink things and not fall for this, like, oh, get the trainer and do all this stuff at the track and like just overthinking everything. Like just go have fun and I think results will come when you're having fun. But I'd give more advice to the parent to like not be that crazy strict parent. I think that hurts a lot of riders and a lot of teams. There's not a whole lot of teams like there was in the past or a lot of rides. So, being the annoying dad or the pain, it's like nobody really wants to deal with somebody like that when they can just hire a veteran or something. They don't want to take the risk that the dad's going to ruin it for their team or whatever. So just try not to be that guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so a couple of young riders in the paddock, obviously Kayla and Alessandro are both on your team. Outside of those two riders, who are some of the young riders in the paddock that you think have been impressive that everybody should keep an eye on?
I think Rahal's got him. I mean, I know you said besides them, but like really right now, Alessandro is the main one to watch. Kayla has been in the class now for this is her third year, I think. So she's been around for a little while, and she did Twins Cup before that, and Junior Cup before that. So people are used to seeing her name.
Yeah. It's like I feel like we've been watching her for so long. She's still only 19 years old. She's still a kid.
Yeah. So obviously they're the main ones. I mean, but if I had to choose somebody besides them, I mean, let's look at the results from.
Yeah. I mean, like I've been looking at Hank Vosberg. You know, he's one of our guys up here in the Midwest. He's been pretty impressive. And I saw him on a 600. When Vosberg jumps on a Pro 600 class bike, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, like you have, Blake Davis has been riding. He grew up riding at our house too, which is cool. Like I've known him since he was a little kid. He actually lost his front tooth at our track. But like, you know, I've heard that, like their Strack that team's pretty upset about losing that swing arm on the R9, but Dominic Doyle is on the R9 also, I think, unless he's on an R6, but I think he was on an R9. And he was a second, his best lap time was a second and a half faster than what Blake Davis did on that bike.
Yeah.
So
40.4 in the race. Yeah.
Yeah. So Doyle, I mean, I've always liked watching him ride. So Dominic Doyle, I mean, like I said, I like Blake.
He's
and
young.
You know, I think he's fast, but you know, for Dominic Doyle to come out and do that, that's pretty cool. I didn't know who the Ryder Davis kid was, but he finished 9th, and you know, like we put him a lap down, and the lap times are, you know, they're 3 seconds off on the same bike, but I was doing 49s and 50s most of the weekend. So for him to do a 51.8, that's pretty good. The Dreyers, you know, Gus Rodeo's good, but Avery Dreyer and his sister Ella Dreyer, like that's pretty cool. Just seeing brother and sister riding on Melissa Paris's team.
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and kind of fun because she, for those that didn't see it, they rolled into Daytona, and for race day they had the old school overalls.
Yeah.
So their whole team had the gray overalls with the logos and stuff all over it. It was pretty fun, kind of classic, you know, racing. Add a little levity to the whole thing. It was cool to see. But
so I think those are, but like I said, Alessandro and Kayla are the ones watching. Yeah. Obviously, he's a rookie this year, and he's young, so he was fast in winter testing. I'm not sure what happened in the race. I thought he would have been a little bit closer. He was his lap time was 2 seconds off, and he was a minute and a half behind at the finish, but they might have had some pit stop stuff. I'm not sure.
And traffic, and he ran wide like into turn 1, you know, with some traffic and stuff like that. So it's just typical Daytona stuff. You know, but still, for where he finished and the week that he had, that was really, really impressive.
Yeah.
You know, 20 seconds back from, you know, Bender and, you know, Yakov and those guys. I mean, he should be really, really proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So MotoGP coming up at Coda this weekend. Are you headed down there?
No, I'm not going to go. I'm going to, hang out with the family, stay home. It seems like I like going,
championship so far this year. What are your thoughts on that championship so far this year?
I think, you know, Marquez has talked. I watch the races, but I don't follow like every session and all the interviews and stuff. But I've heard Marquez say that he's still like not up to, you know, feeling 100% fit, stuff like that. So obviously you can't root against Marquez for the championship. That dude is so fast and so good on that bike. But it's cool seeing Jorge Martin like starting to do better, but it just sucks because now he's, you know, there's all these rumors of him switching teams, like right as he's seeming to like come into, you know, this groove on the Aprilia.
Right.
Watching Bezecchi.
I feel like silly season came too soon. Like everybody's signing
it was weird.
contracts about going somewhere, and you haven't even run haven't even run the bikes this year yet.
But it's starting to turn into like other sports now, like where it's like getting big enough that they got to do that.
Yeah.
It's cool. To me, it's like watching baseball, like, oh, we're going to sign this kid when he's 13, or we're going to, we got to get him now because everybody else is talking about it. Like the riders and managers getting smarter and they're like, hey, if you want him, like we need to sign him now. So yeah, I think it's cool. Like I want to see, it's cool watching Bezecchi, I'm sure I said his name wrong, but watching him do good like that's neat. It's I have fun watching GP. It's cool watching. I'm a Maverick Vinales fan, so I'm bummed to see how he's doing right now.
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy. Watch like how they shortened the race like on the grid this last weekend. I don't know if you knew about that, but that was pretty crazy. I saw
because of the potholes, because of the sinkholes.
I saw Bastianini was like pretty upset about that because he said that they didn't have enough time to change tires on the grid, but the guys at the front of the grid did. So that was pretty weird.
Yeah, because they told the people on the front of the grid first, and then by the time it trickled to the back of the grid, they didn't think they had enough time. Has that ever happened to you where things change last minute and you feel like you got caught out and you're like, fuck?
I'm sure it has, but track changing. My memory doesn't, like, I'm so bad with like remembering like things like that happen in races or right before a race. Not really. Like I just made stupid decisions, like to try to run slicks when it was like not dry enough or stuff like that. But never really had. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've had tons of stuff like that, but I just can't remember.
Road Atlanta is the next round on the schedule for MotoAmerica, and obviously we'll see Superbikes at that round, and obviously it'll be the second round this year for the Supersport bikes. Any specific memories from Road Atlanta for you? I mean, such an old school. I mean, with new tracks coming online, Coda's fairly new, the Ridge fairly new. Road Atlanta is one of those tracks that's just been around forever. You have any specific memories from there?
I mean, yeah, I got good memories from every track. Road Atlanta hasn't really been like the best track for me in Superbike. I had like one cool story. I have like 3 of these winglets from the V4, but this winglet was from 2023. It was the first race on the Superbike. I don't know if it was the first day, like Saturday race, or if it was Sunday race. I can't remember. I think it was Sunday race. But this was the one where I was on the back straightaway last lap, and me and Bobier actually hit me. We were like tucked in the kink, and he clipped me, and it broke my wing off, and I got a head shake and almost ran into the wall on the back straight.
Oh, man.
6th gear wide open.
Yeah.
And when I went to grab my brakes into 10A, I had no brakes because the pads separated.
Yep.
And I was like panicking, trying to like, I grabbed them with like all 4 fingers. I'm like trying to pump it a little bit, and I barely squeezed between like Bobier. Like there was like 3 guys that I just, like, if you watch the highlight, like you don't even understand how I fit. Like I was millimeters from both of them. That was cool, but it was also sucked because it was my first race on the Superbike and with Ducati, and I felt like I had a really good shot at winning, and it just got ripped away from us. But some cool 600 memories there. I got a lot.
Did you ever race there with the old gravity cavity, or was it modified before?
Not gravity cavity. That was definitely before my time.
Before
the old final corner. Yeah, like we used to do the fast corner, and now we don't. But I raced there before when it was like that.
You never used the old paddock across the way either, did you? Oh, you did.
Yeah, I used that for I think
on the outside
of the races.
Yeah.
And I think when I was there with Weira, we were on that side.
Yeah. That was Hacking's home racetrack.
Yeah, I guess he's from North Carolina or something. Huh?
South Carolina. Yeah.
He was always like my favorite.
He was an amateur there.
Yeah, he was like my favorite rider to watch once I got like to where I was turning pro. He was one of my favorites. And it was weird. Like we had the same initials, so obviously JH, and we both were number 2. And his wife's name was Rachel. My wife's name's Rachel, and we both raced for Yamaha. And we kind of like I feel like have the same kind of style. Like we just say what we want to say. I grew up watching him, so I guess I probably picked up a lot of stuff from him. He picked on me when I was a little kid, when I was like a rookie. It's like same shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw him at
Hacker.
VIR this last year, and I told him, I was like, man, I miss seeing you around.
Yeah, he was a good guy. His parents were always super good too.
Yeah, English.
And, English. Yep, English bulldog. Yep. Yeah. So it was
yeah, and then I had an English bulldog too.
Right.
Yeah.
So my final series of questions I call a cool down lap. Who's your motorcycle goat?
Nikki. Yeah, Nikki for sure. I was a fan of Hopkins before Nikki, just because I grew up in Southern California, and Hopkins is from Southern California, and with the same mini bike organization, so I knew of Hopkins before Nikki. But I didn't really know who Rossi was until, when I was starting to pay attention, it was like 2000 to GP. Like I watched like old, I watched it, but I didn't really understand things like that was going on till probably 2002 or 3. So like when Nikki was going over to GP, because then I turned pro in 2006, and but it was like just fun for me and my dad. And then when it got to where like I started realizing like that it was like just like basketball or baseball, I was like, then I started seeing the pros, and Hopkins was the first one. Actually, guys like that grew up or that were racing with my dad at Willow, and like Jason Curtis, and there was Mark Palazzo, and Lance Isaacs, Vincent Haskovic, Chuck Graves, Jeremy Toy, guys like that were like Jason Perez was like a kid that I was like a little bit older than me, but my dad was real good friends with his dad, Dave Perez. So I watched them. When Michael Beck turned pro a couple years before me, I watched him. Bradley Adams, right around there. Like they were a little bit older than me, but so I started watching them. But yeah, my goat. Sorry to answer that was a long-winded answer, but my goat.
There's a lot of names I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, my number one rider in my head will always be Nikki, because that's like who, when I really knew what was going on, and that's who I wanted to be when I was 14, 15, 16,
Yeah. Love it. What music's on your playlist?
I'm not like a big music person. I just kind of like, I don't really like listen. I just put music on to hear it. I don't really listen to it a whole lot. So like today I was listening to Puddle of Mud radio. Like, but I like everything. Like Korn is like, I listen to Korn a lot. Like, just kind of everything. Not a big music guy. I'll listen to anything. Sublime. I used to like Kid Rock. Like I'm all over the place.
Yeah. Little alternative rock. When was the last time that you were scared, or you scared yourself on a motorcycle, and you were like, and you had that oh shit moment?
At Daytona, I just posted something on Instagram, and I like ran off the track and almost I ran into the air fence, but I like backed the bike in the grass, like right up against the air fence. But I'd say that was the last time. I put it on Instagram. It has like 3.2 million views. It was pretty crazy. And then actually, no, the last one would have been when I fucking hit the camera guy. That was pretty scary.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Because I think we all have those pucker moments where you're like, oh shit, that could have been really bad. And then we already talked about it. Where do you like to stay, RV or hotel? And I think you were kind of on the fence. Like I think you like the idea of being in an RV because it's all close, but you don't like driving it to and from the racetrack.
Yeah, if I could just have my RV like set up, ready to go, don't got to do anything. Yeah, the RV, because it's nice. But I also like being at a hotel where I can like go get junk food in the lobby and go to dinner easy, go to a movie, stuff like that. So I'm kind of torn.
What's your go-to junk food?
I'll probably have some Oreos tonight.
Ooh, nice. Good
call. But go-to, like if I had anything, I don't know. I like these like sour Jolly Rancher chews.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. I'm a fat ass.
Do you have to have a special drink to go with your Oreos, or you just okay?
Oh
just
yeah, milk. Two cubes of ice, glass of milk.
There you
and
go.
eight Oreos.
And 8 specifically. There you go.
Yeah. Either that or some Rocky Road.
Rocky Road ice cream.
Yeah.
So why motorcycles? Of all the dangerous things in the world that we could be doing, why motorcycles? What continues to attract you to the motorcycle industry?
I don't know. I mean, out of everything, like action sports wise, like that was the only thing that I'm like not scared of, because I couldn't skateboard, I couldn't ride BMX bikes, jumping dirt bikes scares me. Flat track's fun, but there's I don't know. I'm gonna make somebody mad, but there's more money in road racing, like there always has been. There may have been like a year or two where people were making more money in flat track, but it just road. I don't know. And I'm like super clean, I guess too, so that would make me not like flat track. I don't know. I do love it though. Like every time I've ridden a flat track bike, I have so much fun, and I love watching it. Like I didn't go this year because it's just always at night, and I'm just like trying to like wind down and just get away from it, so I didn't go watch it. But road racing it's just been what I've done. It's like second nature, and I'm not afraid of it. And I'm like, I get afraid of a lot of things, so or I just think too much about it before I do it. I'm not going to just go do it and get hurt doing something. It's just, and it's what I'm good at. I don't know. I've just stick with what I'm good at, I guess. Like since I was little, like it just came naturally to me. And I think if you're lucky enough to find something you're naturally good at, you know, and the only thing is like I've been racing bikes so long now that I don't really just have fun. Like I got a brand new $46,000 V4S with an acro exhaust on it and carbon fiber, and I haven't even ridden it, and I've had it for 4 months. It's like I paid for it.
If you want, you can drop it off at my place on the way to MotoAmerica, and when you drive the motorhome through Illinois, just drop it off, and we'll get some miles on it for you.
I just like looking at it.
Right, exactly. It looks good back there, and I'm sure it's polished.
Yeah,
nice and clean. So how many tear offs do you use for Daytona 200? How many tear offs you stacking on that?
I asked for 3. I don't know if they gave me 3 or not, because they said something about not wanting to put 3 because it would risk one of them falling. I don't know what Butters, the guy who does our tear offs. I asked him for 3, and my buddy that was there with me, he's like, he said he'll try, but he doesn't know if he can put 3. I'm like, fuck. It's a long race, dude.
Like, so I asked for 3. Give me 3. Figure out a way to get me 3. Damn it.
I think I did 2. He might have put 3. I don't know. I was like, that's one of those things where I'm like, I want 3. I need 3. Give me 3. But then I luckily I forgot about it. Otherwise, I would have been like, did you put 3? But I think in the red flag, I think I switched, so I had another new visor after the red flag. But that actually no, that was only 1 lap or 3 laps or something. So, but I think I had 3 on there.
One of the last times I raced at Daytona, I hit I call them track chickens. I don't know why. I hit a seagull that took off. You know, all those seagulls in the infield. Yeah. And I hit a seagull going into 4, and it broke my windscreen and just all over my helmet. So I had to pull a tear off, and when I came into the pits, like my white helmet was all red except for, you know, where the tear off came off. I shattered.
You should have kept that.
Oh my God, it was so disgusting. And then I high sided and turned 4 the next day. So bad weekend. And finally, we talked about it a little bit. Who are you picking for winning MotoGP at COTA?
Oh, it'd be hard to go against Marquez. I mean, he's won so many GP races at COTA. And like I said, I'm not like super. I watch it. I skip through the race if it's boring. I watch highlights if I see who won the race before. I'll just watch the highlights. So I'm not like super into it, and my memory's so bad I can't really remember things anyways. But if I could pick who I want to win, it'd be cool to see Jorge Martin get a win on the Aprilia. I'm sure he'll really want to now that he got what, a 3rd and a 2nd.
Yeah, he's got a little taste of that podium. Yeah.
I like him a lot. I think he's cool to watch. It'd be cool. Yeah. I think If I had to bet, I'd say Marquez. But if I could choose who I would like to see win, it'd be cool to see at least Martin have a chance at winning, like in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I'm watching the VR46 riders too. I think it'd be cool to see Valentino's team to just kind of be really good this year, because they haven't been great. And then the funny thing is, I feel like a lot of people, even listening to some of the podcasts, a lot of people think, Marquez has been so good at COTA historically, and he has, but like last year he crashed. The year before that he had a mechanical. Like, I don't think he's won there since like 2021 or something. So it's been a minute, but he's been strong there, qualified well there, does other things, but he hasn't won the race there for a little while. So
yeah, let's see. I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, 2021 was the last time that he won, but he won the race, the sprint race last year though.
Yeah. But then remember, he threw it away in the race in that right-hander.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, if I had to bet, I'd bet on him. But yeah, like I said, it'd be sick. It'd be sick to see I'd like to see Martin win. That'd be cool. Yep. Especially, last year he had such a hard year.
Yeah, and the Yamahas. What do you think's happening with those Yamahas? I mean, I don't know.
Quadraro,
like they're doing well, and then they slide back, and
it seems like it's definitely not as competitive as they would want it to be. I mean, Quadraro seems like he's riding the crap out of it. But like I said, I don't watch it close enough to really be able to comment on stuff like that and feel confident about what I'm saying without sounding like one of those guys who goes on a podcast and just
like makes stuff up as we go.
Yeah. But
like announcers, I
do know
we just make shit up as we go.
Yeah, I hear the announcers always saying like, "Oh, he's on that bike is not competitive," but I'm always like, how do you know? Like, if Marquez got on it, obviously Quadraro is a great rider, but what if Quadraro just doesn't gel with the bike anymore? Like, what if somebody else got on it and was good on it? I don't know. So, and the Ducati is so good, and even the Aprilia is so good now. It's like maybe they're just they're not developing it as quick. I don't know. Obviously they're all great riders, but seeing Toprak get on it, and he's not struggling. He's doing the same results as Miller. It seems like they're like side by side.
Yeah.
But
and the margins are so minimal. And the margins are so minimal. Like, we're like, oh, that bike is shit. It's only a half second off. Like, it's not total shit. I mean, a half second in that world is a lot, but in the big scheme of things, it's still really close. It's just in those parameters, it's not doing as well as some of the others. But I mean, I think that platform is gonna be good for them. And then at the end of the year, they're switching everything over to the 850s, right? So
but I mean, he was 30 seconds off at Thailand, and then Brazil he was 20. Quadraro was 26 seconds back. But
at the end of the race,
Toprak was only 4 seconds behind Quadraro.
Right. Yeah. So it was impressive. Cool, man. Well, hey, look, I've taken up way too much of your time away from your family, almost 2 hours. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to say that the interview that you did on the other podcast with Pipe Dreams with Corey and those guys, I think that was an unbelievable interview. I actually had a lot of the same questions. And I was like, well, they already asked it over there. So if you want to see, Josh with the guys at Pipe Dreams, go watch that podcast. It's phenomenal. I think it's almost like 3 hours long as well. So, but that was cool. I enjoyed, I think it's important that with guys at your level, just being as vulnerable as you were in that, I feel like it just means a lot to everybody to kind of see some of that and to understand some of the struggles that you went through as a kid and growing up and transitioning into being a pro racer. I think that a lot of people take for granted that, oh, I'm just a really good rider and I just had things thrown my way and I take advantage of it and I, ride motorcycles for a living and that it's like an easy road. And, I spent a lot of time with Randy Renfro back in the day, another pro rider. And he was like, and he always joked that he was going to write a book called You Think You Want to Be a Pro Motorcycle Racer, just because of how hard the life was, staying in shape, staying lean and traveling. And, everything else. And I think that you did a really good job of communicating just sort of how much of a struggle it's been for you. And I appreciate just you being that vulnerable. And it was a really, really good podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks. And by no means, like, I know real life is, this life can be hard, and there's so many things away from whatever's going on in our little racing world, like real life problems that, it's hard. So I'm always grateful to be able to just say that racing a motorcycle is my job, and being able to have a good life for my family. So yeah, I want to keep it that way as long as I can. So that's why sometimes I get a little hot headed, but that's all I'm thinking about is, like, I don't want to go get a normal job. So yeah, I'm gonna get pissed when stuff happens.
Right. Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah.
No, it matters. Well, like I said, man, I appreciate you being on with me, and I know we were scheduled to be on a little bit earlier, but we'll hit this. I'll send you the link for this so you can have it and share it and everything else. But appreciate it. Good luck this year in Super Sport. I may not be at Road Atlanta, but Road America is coming up. So that's my home track. So at the very latest, I'll see you at Road America. Good luck in that class. Good luck with all your new sponsors and the new team. It looks like you're off to a phenomenal start. And again, I mean, you're my pick to win that championship. So I think everyone knows that you're the man to beat there, and especially on that motorcycle. So good luck there. It should be a good season for you. Sweet.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Kenny. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. So hang on for just a few minutes while this wraps up, and then I'll do a little outro, and we'll get you back to the family. All right.
Sweet.
Cool, man. Well, that's a wrap on this week's edition of Exhaust Noise on Cycle Vision Network. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe across all the platforms. Make sure you follow Josh on his platforms as well, at Josh Herrin or at Josh_Herrin. But make sure you follow Cycle News on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, so you don't miss any of the action as we do our weekly updates. Huge thanks to all of our partners: AMSOIL, Two Brothers Roundhouse, JLI Insurance, Flip Design Studios, and Globetrotter Media Group. And to all of you for riding with us every week. We do appreciate it. We'll be back with more stories, more speed, and more in the world of motorsports. Make sure you gear up before you head out and ride safe, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.